Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this daily science fiction extravaganza, commonly known as Tales from Outer Space. Taken from the subreddit HFY. All the relevant links will be down below. And, as always, I hope that you enjoy. And if you do, please consider supporting the channel. On to the science fiction. Story number 1, Plan Omega, written by ICWhatsNUrP. Court is now in session. Hive mind beta intoned. Hive minds were the preferred judges of the galaxy, as they usually had several portions of their mind constantly scouring relevant statuses. The Galactic Federation has charged the human race with the use of forbidden weaponry in the defense of Planet Eden 3. How do you respond? Not guilty, a sharply dressed lawyer replied. Prosecution, you may begin. Thank you. The prosecutor, an aviatrix, was a winged humanoid with deep blues and greens in his plumage. Those blessed with the ultraviolet vision would see elaborate patterns that would flash as they moved his wings. Prosecution calls Dr. Stroika and asks that she be recognized as a certified expert in weapon analysis. Dr. Stroika has been certified in the past, cause certification accepted. The hive mind had droned. A large purple quadruped ambled down the aisle and into the witness box. Dr. Stroika, have you had time to review the data feeds from the Battle of Eden 3? I have, she nodded. Could you tell us about your findings? Of course, she said, and the hologram appeared beside her. This video is broadcast from the Missouri during the battle. For some unknown reason, the humans broadcast the entire view from the bridge of their admittedly outdated ship. She paused, and the video in the middle of some communication between the bridge and an unknown pilot. Here is where we learn of what I believe is called a call sign, implemented by humans to distinguish their craft. Humans have a tendency to call out when they fire ordnance to alert others of battlefield dynamics. This Night Witch 1 is calling out that they have fired Star 1. While we don't know exactly what type of ordnance that is, you can see an almost immediate light as the weapon impacts the planetary shields that defend the harvester. Objection! Almost immediate is not a quantifiable amount of time, the human lawyer protested. Sustained. Apologies, we have determined that the impact occurred 0.33 seconds after our software was able to determine the launch of the weapon by the pilot. Was there anything else that you could determine from the data? The prosecutor asked. Yes, using the distance to the moon and the amount of moon visible in the screen, we were able to determine the scale. From our calculations, the pilot was approximately 1.8 light seconds out from the target. The only way for impact to be less than 1.8 seconds as if the weapons used move faster than light, Dr. Stroika explained. Thank you. No further questions. The prosecutor settled back into his perch, feeling rather smug. No questions for this witness, the human said, and Dr. Stroika left. Your Honor, we'd like to enter Exhibit B. This is a recorded conversation between Earth's President Nixon and former Admiral Hideki. The judge gave its assent, and the pair of voices came over the speakers. Marshy, this is Hideki. Greetings, Admiral. President Nixon here. Sir, sorry to remind you, but I am retired. I understand, Admiral, but I might have a mission for you. Interested? Of course, sir. Name it, and I'll make sure we get it done. Sorry to say, but it's Plan Omega. Silence reigned for 10 seconds before the Admiral spoke again. Understood, sir. I'll pass the word along. Location, Eden 3. Godspeed, Admiral. As you can see by the transmission, this was ordered by the human president. Your Honor, the prosecution calls Earth President Nixon. Looking nothing like his former American president, Nixon was a tall human with blonde hair and a striking face. He seemed to exude an air of command and confidently strode to the witness box. President Nixon, do you deny anything about the previous conversation? Not at all. That was the last time I was able to speak with former Admiral Hideki. Nixon smiled, steepening his fingers. And, what is Plan Omega? I'm sorry, but that is classified. Your Honor, the prosecution asked, turning to the judge. Overruled, the judge intoned. All species have the right to military secrets. Very well, no further questions. The prosecutor settled down a bit, but was still somewhat agitated. No questions, the human lawyer said, sitting back down. Before the president could leave, there was a buzzing. The Volvan contingent has a question for the witness. Proceed, the judge intoned. A creature from a nightmare of humanity stood up, looking like a werewolf that had lived long enough to go white with age. A 10-foot-tall monstrosity slowly stood up. Where humanity tended to rule aerial combat, the Volvan were the most dangerous infantry in the galaxy. Can you explain, without revealing state secrets, the nomenclature of human plans? I would be glad to, the president smiled, the politician coming out to the front. Plans with the greatest chance of success are given higher letters in our alphabet, so the most likely to succeed with the least loss of life is Plan A. Plan B is less likely to succeed, and so on. Follow up. I could be wrong, but I don't recognize this Omega as being part of your alphabet. It's not, the president said. It's from one of the multitudes of languages, an ancient culture upon our world. In their alphabet, Omega is the last letter. I see. So, if I were to apply your nomenclature, then this plan had such a low chance of success that you had to use the final letter of an ancient alphabet. That is correct, the president said, having gone stoic as the Volvan explained. Understood. No more questions. Prosecution rests, the aviatrix said, ruffling his feathers. The assembled delegates from various species shifted in their seats. Some were uncomfortable that there was such little evidence presented, but it was rather damning evidence. Most were happy that the trial was progressing so quickly. While the Volvan had erected a privacy field, they were animatedly discussing something. The defense would like to play Defense Exhibit A, the live stream footage from the Battle Plan Eden 3. A hologram appeared in front of each delegate so that they could see easier. Greetings! An older ancient man intoned, filling the screen. He was decked out in dress uniform, proudly displaying a staggering array of missiles on his chest. I am Admiral Hideki, broadcasting from the bridge of the Missouri in the Eden 3 star system, a system currently threatened by a harvester, a ship so massive it tears apart planets for raw materials. While they have been defeated in the past, the cost has always been exorbitant. A swarm of defensive ships and planetary-grade layered protective shields require near constant bombardment to break. At its current course and speed, it'll begin processing Eden 3 and its industrial age society in 3 hours. The Galactic Federation fleet will arrive in 4 hours. Humanity will not allow this to happen. We will hold the line. To ensure that we don't sully the name of this fine ship, I am reporting a mutiny led by myself, former Admiral Hideki. We have commandeered the Missouri and have declared independence from humanity. This is now a pirate ship. Resolve. The view pulled out, revealing the bridge of the ship that was over Admiral's shoulder. Report. Sir, the Night Witches are deployed and in position. Harvesters currently just outside weapons range. The main force of ships are arrayed in defensive formation between ourselves and the main target. It seems the Night Witches are undetected. Any response to communications? None, sir. Very well. Night Witches, you are cleared for weapons hot. Fire when ready. Copy that. A voice came over the communications array. Night Witch 1, star 1. A flash occurred on the screen. Star 1. 3 seconds later, it was followed by another flash. Night Witches 2 and 3 went through the same process, each one launching 2 of the weapons. Report! Sensors indicate the harvester has 3 shields remaining, one of the techs said, everyone turning to look at the captain. And most viewers would be shocked at the age of everyone. Not a single person was under the age of 60. Roger that, Missouri. This is Night Witch 1. See you boys on the other side. Starfall. The voice broke over the comms channel, and the Admiral snapped a rigid salute. There was a much larger flash, and the scene repeated itself twice more. Sir, the harvester's shields are down, and the target has taken heavy damage. Estimated time to reach Eden 3, 3 hours, 45 minutes. Admiral Hideki sighed and bowed his head for a second. Straightening up, he flipped a switch. All hands! This is Admiral Hideki. The Night Witches have struck and taken down the enemy's shields. It is up to us to finish what they started. Battle stations! Helm, all ahead full. Engineering, keep our shields up and prepare the present. Weapons free, fire at will. There was a slight shift in the Admiral's stance as the ship lurched into motion, and the harvester grew larger in its sights. The swarm in front of it started to resolve into ships, and the probe shots were fired from both sides. Shields flared as plasma and lasers struck. Missiles exploded as point defenses did their work. And still, the human ship came on. Silence reigned on the bridge. The only movement from the subtle ships of the particularly powerful shots were absorbed. And still, the human ship came on. The shield was constantly glowing now, small holes starting to form. Stray blasts got through and rocked the ship. Don't worry, the armor will hold, the former admiral said, patting his armrest. Hear that, old friend? I need your armor to hold just a little while longer. And still, the human ship came on. As it passed the swarm, part of it split to damage it from the sides, while the rest reformed to block the advance. All weapons, concentrate fire forward, the admiral yelled, the shaking near constant now. Clear us a path. Engineering, what you don't have going to weapons and shields should be heading to engines. Redline it, damn it. Ramming speed. A cone of weapons fire burned through the reforming swarm as the tattered shields flickered and deflected what they could. Sparks flew as damage was taken, and still the human ship came on, smashing through the wall of enemy ships. The harvester's maw was suddenly visible. Ours is not to ask how or why. Ours is to merely do and die. Warp speed! The hologram went black as the feed had cut. The defense stood up. As you can see, Admiral Hideki renounced all their ties to humanity before committing war crimes. As such, you cannot hold humanity accountable for his actions. Before the judge could respond, a request lit up. The Volvan delegation requests the video be played again. As the video started again, a low sound arose from the Volvan contingent. The longer the video played, the louder the mournful wailing became. Most representatives simply sat in shock, as this was nowhere near the battle songs the Volvans sang when entering battle. This tugged at the heartstrings and pulled at the soul, the song of tragedy and of terrible loss. The Volvant contingent will explain. The judge said once everything had finished, the white leader stood up once more. That was the lament of heroes, a song sung only 130 times in our centuries of society. As a warring race, we pride honor and battle above all. However, we also recognize that there are some scenarios where honor must be set aside. First was Goran. One Fang fought an enemy whose name we have scrubbed from memory. An enemy that would wipe the brains of children and send them to battle. Goran ordered his men to capture the children, and he personally slew every one of them. When the war was done, he shaved his fur and removed his claws in repentance of what he had to do. He sacrificed his honor to end atrocities and sparked the lament of heroes. For the first time, we sing the song for an alien race and request a list of the names of all who were on the resolve, that they may forever be remembered in our hall of heroes. Further, we refuse to condemn any of the actions in the defense of Eden 3 and will refuse any action against the humans. All mercenary contracts contain the right of refusal, and any attempts to force compliance will render the contract in breach and all the penalties that come with it. Admiral Hideki, we salute you. With that, all the Volvans slammed their fist over their heart. The silence was broken seconds later by a flood of alerts on the judge's station. It pressed a button for silence, and the calm after spoke. It is hereby determined by unanimous vote that the humans will not be charged by using superluminal weaponry in defense of Eden 3. Case closed. End of story. And that, my friends, concludes this dose of science fiction fun. I hope that you enjoyed. And if you did, please don't forget to support the author from the link down below. But if you want to support this channel, there are links as well down below for you to help with. But the easiest way would be to share this video. And if you are so inclined, subscribe as well. I will see you all in the next episode, and I hope that you all have a fantastic time until then. Cheers.